I really don't care about depth charts, to be honest, but Dolis has done a phenomenal job, and there's certain packages that he will get to start in, and he's been outstanding all year. He's been outstanding all camp. He's done such a really good job. All those guys, like we've talked about, probably throughout the whole process, is how much those guys are going to roll up front. You'll see all those guys in starting roles at some form or some fashion, but he's done a great job in some of the sets that we're talking about and some of the things that we're going to call out there and be able to put out there in personnel briefings.
And the first rounders?
They are in the same category as all those guys. Like they've been out there practicing, all full go, no limitations, ready to go. We'll have those guys rolling out there in a bunch. And then obviously our guys on the back end will be out there with the secondary playing a bunch of time too.
I'll come back later.
Darnell Mooney still day-to-day?
Day-to-day Mooney, looking good, was out there with us yesterday a little bit, moving around, doing some things, so we'll see.
What do you need to see from Mooney to make him not day-to-day anymore?
Really, Allison, that is a tricky question because that is one of those things where it's just a medical deal, and it's like if he's ready to go, he's ready to go. If he's not, he won't be. But, it'd be a day-to-day deal. We get a chance to wait up until that last minute, so hopefully we get a chance to see one of our better players out there.
Hodge was also out of practice last week. Is he?
He's fine. He's probably has some maintenance stuff, some management stuff, but he'll be out there going full go, ready to go.
You spoke, Monday, about Tampa Bay being a big-time opponent. You mentioned guys like Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. In the context of you having a fairly high percentage of young guys having prominent roles, what kind of test, for a first week test, is this for you?
I mean, unbelievable test. You talk about Baker, the knowledge he has, the amount of experience he has on different teams and everything that he's done in this league. It's been impressive, particularly within the last couple of years, whether you're talking about the three-game trip to L.A. with us or going to Tampa and really taking over there in an impossible situation following Tom Brady, being able to maintain the success, so much experience there. Basically made or helped make two head coaches in the National Football League going there playing really well. Mike Evans, what else could be said positive about? What can't be said positive about Mike Evans? The guy that he is, the challenge that he presents. If you put him in a one-on-one situation, you're going to pay for it, and he can make anybody pay for it. He's talented that way, and they've got a bunch of really skilled running backs, three-headed monster. I think I talked about them last year. Don't get enough credit that what they're able to do and what they did last year running the football. They're well coached by Carbs and those guys there in Tampa, and they do such a good job of running the football with the O-line, with the toughness that they present. Had one of the best right tackle and tackles. Don't know if he's going to play. He's probably up, probably down, whatever the case may be in Tristan Wirth. But it is what it is, man. They got really good football players, really good talent on offense, and we better be prepared and ready to go. Not to even mention, all the other new wideouts, some of the new toys they got. The young guy from Ohio State, a bunch of different guys that's played for them in the past, and they got a lot of good players.
As a follow-up to the first rounders, Walker and Peters, is there anything you can do to make them comfortable early, much like you do maybe with a quarterback?
It's really role clarity. Like you got to know your role. Like when you go out there, if you can own your role, that makes you a little bit more comfortable. And as you start to own those roles and you do those things, then those things start to grow into different areas and aspects of our game. In football, particularly now, with the amount of people that are out there and the amount of people you want to play, you want to get those guys out there in certain situations, certain ownership roles, certain things they can do faster and better. But, definitely letting those guys rush and do different things of that nature that they're comfortable with and doing some of the things they've done in practice and some of the things they've been able to execute that they got a little bit of experience in, whether it's in the joint practice versus Tennessee, whether it's been in the preseason games, whether it's been at practice against us, all of those things that you've seen on tape that they're really comfortable doing, let them do some of those things.
What gives you confidence to know that Penix in this offense is going to be ready for week one?
The Penix in the offense, the exact answer to the question that you gave me. Our coaching staff, our organization, the way we're built, the confidence that they walk around with. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Kyle Pitts, Mooney, Drake London, the way Casey Washington's practiced, the way we've been able to step up in different areas, whether it's been Hodge, and go out there and be able to make plays. Our O-line up front, with everybody having a significant amount of playing experience, whether it's here or somewhere else, having a real bind together going into the second year of an offense, building on the success that they had last year, although that doesn't matter because you got to go out there and repeat those things. But I feel really good and confident these guys didn't hear things for the first time this year, and they'll get a chance to go out there and execute those things at a very high level And they were close last year to being great. And we got a chance to go out there and prove some things this year, and I look forward to doing it.
And I was listening to Coach Kevin in Cleveland today. He was talking about they're being ready for unscouted looks. That's everything's an unscouted look week one.
Yeah, it's always not so much everything, Led, because like you're gonna have some bread and butters from the carryover from the coordinators, or the young guys been on staff with them for a couple of years, and they've been through the 3 different coordinators that we mentioned. One's in Carolina, one's in Jacksonville, and now within the system, the promotion. And then, like I talked about, those great players, you want to carry some of the 30 things they do. So everything's not an unscouted look, but there's always going to be new wrinkles. There's always going to be explorers from different teams and things that people do. So you always got to be ready for those things, and your rules just got to handle those things. It's kind of going back to what you're comfortable doing and being able to go play fast versus those type of looks, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams.
And the assemblage of weapons, we haven't discussed Kyle Pitts and what his role could be with y'all too. He's part of that group of weapons that be at Mike's disposal.
Yeah, we talked about it. Like I just mentioned, all the guys when we're talking about what gives our offense a lot of success, and Kyle Pitts is definitely one of those guys that you can mention. You guys have got the fortunate exposure of being able to see him have some success this offseason, to be able to have some success at the end of last season with Mike, and now get a chance to go watch those guys do it. Those are the type of things you just don't even want to talk about. You want to just let them happen, because it's got to be the hot man. And it's usually, like it happens in games, sometimes it's Drake, sometimes it's Cal, sometimes it's Bijan, sometimes it's Tyler, whatever the case may be. And we had great references. Ray. I think I missed Ray the first time, so don't write that. I missed Ray. But I just think you got to, sometimes you get the hot man and you just kind of go and let those guys kind of play. And when you got it rolling that way, I think it makes it a little bit unpredictable for the other defense, and that's what helps us.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. He was 19 when he first got here, and then
he's a baby, man.
In London, now he's really just he would kind of be.
I think Mike's older than him.
COVID years, he's just getting out of school.
I think Mike P's older than Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
It's unique. He just turned into a grown man. Go tell him that I said that. He's a little baby.
I would think with Caleb being out and having to shift the way.
Sorry, check. Who?
Caleb.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, you said it so fast I didn't hear.
Michael Penix being out.
No, don't say that.
With Caleb being out and you having to kind of shift things around, move pieces, change scheme a little bit, it's an opportunity for Zach really to kind of show his skill as a coordinator and be able to adjust and be adaptable. Is that a fair way of looking at it?
It's a little deep, I'd say. I don't think Zach looks at it that way. I don't think coaching staff look at it that way. I think they put the best plan together to win each football game. And Caleb is a significant loss. There's no doubt about it. Don't want to sugarcoat that. And our coaches are definitely going to do things and put us in best position. They don't want to put it all on Zach. We got O-line coaches for a reason. You have running back coaches for a reason. You have all these different eyes to give, different, reasoning and things behind it. Myself, we're all going to be thinking about that. We're all going to try to figure out what is the best way for us to win football games. Got a lot of confidence in Elijah Wilkinson. Got a lot of confidence in whoever will play out there that will be up on our 48-man roster. And, we feel good about our unit, our plan, our team, our goals, and what we want to do. There's always the obvious part, what you're asking. Zach will get the credit when it goes right. And at the same time, he'll get the blame if I don't get it first, right? That's the order, right? Is it go to me, then it go to Zach, and whatever the case may be. But we look forward to those challenges.
Is creativity, would you say, a strength of his?
I would say it has been, the things he's shown around here, the amount of emotions, the amount of ways to get people open, the creativity to get our offense to perform as well as it did last year with 2 different quarterbacks. I thought was very good, very well done.
What do you think this team has to prove this year?
Allison, man, we're going to go out there and let the grass speak for us, and what we do. I think it's more about us going out and doing it as opposed to me sitting up here and telling you what we have to prove. I think our guys got to go do it. I think our guys are ready to go do it, and I think our guys want to go do it. So, Allison, I'm really fired up for the season to start.
Is Jalen Walker still on track for Sunday?
Jalen Walker is great. It was great watching him go through the ups and downs of different body movements, little nagging injuries here, being able to bouncing back to practice, coming out, being able to go back in. Those are all the things in the National Football League that you test. Usually we talked about it with the inside people having to do different things, and kind of the game speeds up for him a little bit. But Jalen Walker's going from off the ball to on the ball to off the ball to on the ball. So he's got a little bit of adjustment too, which makes me feel really good watching him go through the ups and the peaks and the valleys of all of it, from the offseason all the way up to training camp to watching him right now going out there and perform. But he's been mentally sharp. I think his coach, Jackie Smith's done such a great job of keeping him there. I think he's done a great job for himself of staying locked in and mentally sharp throughout the whole process. And like we talk about, I think a lot of that is just maturity that he came here with, and I think those are things that are going to help him.
Is there something you look at with your team and say, okay, because I've seen this, I know they're ready for week one?
That is a very good question. There is, and the only indicator that we really have is in practice, and as a coach is our practice. And we haven't gone to our week load of practice, but the practices prior, you feel really good about. You feel really good about the meetings like that we were able to attend and the attention to detail, the meetings going from lectures to conversations. When those things happen, you feel real maturity, you feel real growth. And being able to sit, whether I'm offense, defense, or special teams, I'm seeing real maturity from different people. I don't want to call them out and name their names because you're going to go ask them, but I feel really good about the people in those meetings and what they're able to step up and say.
Was there anything about Bowman and Watts, specifically that you said, all right, these are the guys that we're going to roll with from day one?
I think you let it play out. We had a real solid competition with all of those guys, and I think they all did a really good job, whether we're talking about Alpha inside and being able to play some nickel fours and also being able to bounce outside, play some outside corner fours, being that gives real special team value. I think those guys really battled it out. I think Bowman's toughness, his physicality kind of stepped out when he had his opportunity to. I think he actually showed out on some special teams plays when he got a chance to do some of those things. I think he's in the process of being able to come here and really having a fight, but I don't want to take it away from the competition that those guys were able to have in there from the nickel standpoint and the positioning battle that they had. I thought it was outstanding. And the same goes for safety. We brought in Jordan Fuller here to really give us a really good shot at a guy that can give you some significant experience, and he definitely did those things for us. And obviously we knew we had DeMarco coming back off the injury, and we're really fired about it, getting him going to go play next to, arguably the best safety in the National Football League, and Jesse. And Watt came in and really showed a serious demeanor, a real significant role increase as he was able to go throughout the whole process, whether it was first team, second team, like you guys seen him juggle just throughout the whole time, right? You got first team reps, you had second team reps, you had third team reps, man. We had developmental reps. They had everything. So I just really proud of what those guys handled their business, how they handled their business. We talked about the serious demeanor of, really all of them. But those two guys really stood out that way in the back end and was able to carve out some significant roles for themselves for the first game.
To that point, how much does it even go back to kind of something you said at the beginning of the offseason about being super intentional about getting those younger guys, whether it be this rookie class or last year's rookie class, out on the field playing significant reps for you guys pretty early?
Tori, I think that was the whole common goal across the organization. I think you might have been in that meeting. That's why you eloquently said that question so well. But I think within the organization, I think that was just the common goal, the common thing of getting some of our young guys out there to play so we can play faster, we can be better, we can grow together, we can get these guys going. And I think this was the appropriate year to do those things. We had a more veteran-laced team last year, and we got more veteran-laced guys out there to be able to play for us. And some of those guys did some amazing things for us. Obviously, the great Grady was able to have to go to do some great things for us. He's not here anymore. We obviously got some great contributions from inside of the nose tackle position. We got some great contributions from a bunch of guys on the edge, but we've kind of moved on to some of the younger values and some of the younger core things that we want to do and some of our core beliefs, and that's definitely going to fall in line with that.
I know we've talked about this to some degree at some point, but Jesse Bates, how does he elevate some of those younger guys?
In every way. Jesse Bates elevates those younger guys with giving the perfect example to watch every day move through the building, to watch study, to watch practice, to watch the attention to detail, to watch his serious demeanor as he does everything that he does, how he takes care of his body, the family man that he is, his community contributor ability, everything. In all walks of life, he is that role of the definition of a Falcon. When you get these guys, you want to turn them and stuff, but I got to be honest, Jesse probably came in like that, and he's just done nothing but show us that throughout the whole process.
And when you have someone like that and you're relying on someone as young as Xavier Watts, how much does that help you kind of breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief that Jesse is there?
No, I think it's a lot. I was able to go through it a while ago, whether it was, Dexter Jackson and John Lynch, or whether it was Tenard Jackson and Jermaine Phillips. But that young guy is going to lean on his veteran safety, his veteran-laced safety, his veteran-laced counterpart, Rondé Barber and Tenard being interchangeable. And, it helps those guys grow up faster because you don't want to disappoint the big brother, so to speak. And, him looking at those guys as bigger brothers and all of those guys, whether it be Bowman or whether it be Watt, I think really helps those guys really grow up and develop faster.
Kind of going off of that, growing up faster, how much more leniency or wiggle room do you give a rookie to make rookie mistakes versus a veteran player, and like I guess where's that fine line of like you need to act like you're a veteran now?
I think you immediately go from that rookie state when you start these games. You know, you immediately become a man, Allison, and like these guys get the opportunities to go out there and do it. And I think a lot of that falls on the coaches and how you develop them, how you get them out there, and the expectations of the things that you want them to do. You got to be realistic with that as well. I think you got to give these guys some grace, like you're saying, but also give them some real coaching moments and some real game-like situations as much as you can when you're on the grass.
Home field advantage is always a big deal, regardless of what time of the year it is, but getting a division rival in Mercedes-Benz Stadium on the first week of the year, just how excited are you to have that environment?
Forget everybody else home field advantage. I'm loving ours. You know, I can't wait to see the Dirty Bird section. I can't wait to see the excitement. You know, this game, you know, these games last year were pretty exciting. You know, whether you're talking about our game on Thursday night, which was really exciting. You know, watch Ice go into the Ring of Honor, watch Kurt break a franchise record. You know, watch this team get a walk-off win on Thursday Night Football. One of the games we made you all step for, right? And then we got a chance to do it again at their place, and it was just exciting. You know, you got all kinds of situational awareness things, whether it went from 4 minutes to us getting the ball back, transition to a 2 minute to go win the game. I mean, to tie it up, or whatever. Cal had a breakout game out in Tampa to really give us some big, significant plays out there to get some big-time wins. And, you know, I think those games were just fist fights, not to look at Mark, but to look at Mark.
I'm glad that when you think about fight, you think of Mark.
You're the definition of toughness. You're the definition of toughness, Mark. Definition of toughness over there.